So with that being said, some of the vehicles I've used an oil catch can on to catch some of the emulsified oil coming out of the crankcase. So we must have really high crankcase pressure in the 454. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put an old oil catch can that I had an SRT Challenger back in 2013, 2014, and I bought this from Billet Technologies. Nick Billet, who is out of Florida, I'm not sure if he's still around, but he started these. He started making these. These are actually quite nice. I mean, for those of you who don't understand how this works, this screws off. This captures oil. The crankcase ventilation from the PCV comes in this side or either side, and then it goes back out and back into right there in your manifold. And this will capture any oil that's being blown by coming through the PCV valve for high crankcase pressure and injecting it back into the intake and burning it off on a molecular level. But anyway, all this stuff is left over. I got a lot of oil catch can stuff just from the Challenger and other vehicles. It's just more or less unused. So I'm going to go ahead and make this work for the 4 and reuse this one. I actually really like these. They work very well. Inside here is just a mesh, and you can see this is just like probably stuff they pulled off the floor when they were machining this. Just a mesh, a weave. The emulsified oil comes in the airstream from the crankcase. It starts to collect on this. This acts like a filter. As the oil collects, it drops into this reservoir, and then the air itself, just the air, goes back out into the crankcase. So that helps capture some of the oil that's being blown by and being sucked back into the intake that you may not see in the exhaust, you may not know, but that's exactly what happens on all these vehicles.